I'm back. So this is an app that I use to show you my screen. And it's really helpful because you can see me part of the time, you can see my screen part of the time, and this way I can show you my software. This is what I do when I go live in the Colorful Cookie Club and I do the interactive tutorials. When I make a video, I post all of those tutorials on the website, but when I go live, this is the app that I use where people can see my screen and we can interact and they can ask me questions. So if you want me to see your comments, then I need for you to go up in the comments of this live and click the ecam.com link, and it will allow me to see who is commenting. Let me go out of here and see. There you are. Okay. So if you want me to see your name, then you need to click on that little link in the comments. Okay, so I can see Maxine. Hey. Hi, Maxine. Maxine's in the club. I know her well. Okay, so now let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you. I got to get back to where I need to be though, so I can share my screen. Sometimes all these little windows pop up and I got to move the windows around before I can start typing. All right, so let me show you Silhouette Studio first. Okay, good. I can see you now, Dieter. Hi, Mona. Yes, I can see you. Okay. I'll share my screen here. All right, so this is Silhouette Studio software, if you're not familiar with it. This is the software that I use for my Silhouette Cameo, which, by the way, they're coming out with a Cameo 4. I believe it's supposed to ship in September, October, and it is supposed to have 5,000 grams of force, cut way faster than the Silhouette Cameo, where the Silhouette Cameo 3 right now has 250, I think, grams of force or kilograms. I can't remember which it is. All I know is the higher the number, the better, and 5,000 is huge. And so I will be getting a Cameo 4 as soon as I can get one because I do love the Silhouette software for designing. I also love my Cricut Maker. It cuts about 4,000 grams of force, and it cuts very fast. Right now I always call it the Big Daddy because it's the best. To me, it's the best machine out of all that I have, and I have the Brother Scan and Cut, the Cameo, and the Maker. Also, the Air 2 is an excellent machine. It cuts very well through the heavy material, but it's not quite. The pressure isn't quite as much as with the Maker, but unless you're doing fabric and other things with the Maker, the Air 2 is fine. It cuts stencils. Even my Explorer Air cuts stencils just fine. That's where I started. So, okay, so this is Silhouette Studio software, and here are, you can see, oops, I've grouped all these together. Let me ungroup them. I took a picture to put in the post of the live. Here are the different sizes of, let me zoom in, of divider tabs. What I did was I took a ruler and I measured each of these containers inside where my stencils would go, and I used the size that I wanted for the divider tab, and I just put it in here in the software. So sometimes you can find a free download with stencil dividers with tabs, but if you can't, you can simply make your own, and I'll show you how. All you're going to do is come right over here on the left-hand side, and you're going to choose to, right here, this rectangle with the rounded curves. We're going to use that so we can have soft edges. And let me see what I made this one. It is 7.75 by 6. That is with the tab, actually. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and draw another little rectangle with the rounded corners. And this is going to be my tab. And I need to, you see how when I select that, you see these two red dots? That means this is not a path, and I'm going to have to make it a path. So to do that, I can right-click and click Convert to Path, or I could also come up here to Object and convert it to a path. I need to do that with both of these. Okay. Now you can gauge how wide you want your tab. I want mine wide because you have some words like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween that are going to be wider. So initially what I say this was 7.35. I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to make my width 7.75. I mean 7 3/4. So 7.75 on that. Let's make sure because I want to make it the same. And then about 6 inches tall. So if I put these two together and I look at them here and I'm going to do this, that's what, 6 inches about, and I'm looking for 6 inches. So I'm just going to, I'll just scoot this up a little bit. And that's about 6, so that's going to be fine. This is close enough for me. So before I weld these together, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one by pushing Command and right arrow. And I'm going to duplicate, I should have just duplicated my tab at the same time. All right, I'll put that there. So this one is going to be right here on this edge. I will weld these together. Shift Command W. I'm going to go ahead and turn it to color. You guys know how I love my colors. Everything needs to be colorful. There's tab 1. All right, I am going to then grab this one and I'll pull it up here. Let's move this one off to the side. I tend to get a lot of things in my screen. I know where everything is, but sometimes it's confusing for people when they're not familiar with the software. So I try to move everything off to the side out of the white workspace area. So I'm going to center this one. If you can't find free divider tabs, you can do this yourself very quickly. I'm going to center it in the middle. And I want to make sure, remember how tall this one was, 6.024? Let's see what this one is. That one's not quite 6.024. So I'll just scoot this one up a little. I could weld them and then size them, but this will be close enough. Okay, so that's a little tall. I can select this and nudge it down a little bit. Yep, there it is. Look, exactly. And it's already centered because I did come up here and center it. Before I do that, though, I'm going to duplicate this one. I'll just do a Command and the down arrow on my computer, and then I'm going to pull this one up here. I want to weld this. Shift Command W, and let's turn this one another color just so you can see the difference. We'll move it over. And then let's pull this one up that we duplicated. I'm going to duplicate it one more time for insurance because I always keep an extra of everything off to the side in case I want to make some changes. I got to move my little screen here. You guys are in my way. Any questions? Hi, Belinda. Okay, so now I have the center, the tab with, or the divider with the center tab, the divider with the left tab. I could just simply do this. Let me show you. We'll just move this one out of the way. Let's keep this simple. Keep it simple, silly. We called that KISS in kindergarten. Keep it simple, silly. So all I need to do is duplicate this red one, Command and the right arrow, and then it's still selected, you see. I'll move these out of the way. These two are exactly the same. I don't want them the same. I want this one on the right. So I'm going to go to Object, Mirror, and flip it horizontally. Let's turn it, let's turn this one green. Okay, now I'm going to grab all of these and then I'm going to center them and then I'll center them on my mat. So now I have a left, a center, and a right divider tab, okay? Super easy, and they're all the same height. All right, so the first one I'm going to start with is this one. I want this one set to cut. I'm going to cut this one, but I want to type the word for my storage right here. So I'm going to select the text tool. I could also push T on the keyboard, by the way. And I'm going to type in the word Christmas. I'll highlight it here by clicking and dragging over it. And I'm going to go to, let me scoot this screen over so you can see I need to pull up the text style panel, and here it is. I need a script font. So the one that I've been using is called Matilda. You can use any font you want, but Matilda is a script. Hello, Rhonda. Now you see my script here. This I'm going to put right here, and we are going to write this with our Cameo. So I'm going to fill it with black, just so I can see it, and make the lines black. I'll put it right here. Did you guys, I don't know if I just pulled this up or not. Let me close some of these. I have my panels pop up so I can see multiple panels at once because I have a very large screen. If you have a laptop or a smaller screen, you probably don't want multiple panels up at once because it ends up hiding your work mat. You'll want to have the flexible panels, and you can do that in the settings of the software, which you can click on this little gear down here. And right here on, let's see, defaults right here in panel mode, see how I have multiple? You may want single even, or flexible. Flexible is a little different, and then single pulls up one at a time. Flexible is flexible, just what it says. So, but because I have a big screen, I keep all these up because I'm constantly clicking them. But the fill and the line style are these two right here, the palette and the lines. Or I can quickly do that right here on the quick access panel. I can choose the line color right here too. Lots of little helpful tips here. Okay, so now that I have the word Christmas here, I'm going to put it about where I want it. I can click the send panel. And I need to tell my silhouette what I want it to do. I don't want that word there anymore. And you can see Christmas is outlined in red. Are you guys following me? Everybody's so quiet. I always get worried when everyone gets quiet. It's either because you're really listening or because you're totally confused. I'm not sure which, but please ask questions if you have them. So I'm going to select the divider first, and it's going to be in the first tool. And so I am going to select cut on this one. And whoops, I'm going to select this one. Hang on, let me go back. I want this one to write, so I'll click send here. Where is my, oh, I don't have my device connected. Yes, I know. Okay. Yes, okay, I'll do the Cricut too. I'll do the Cricut too. Hold on. Oh, I don't have my device connected. Okay, let me go back. It's going to tell me I don't have it connected. Okay, let's pull this one over and see. Oh, you do, Mona? Oh, good. Okay. Okay, so yes, I'm cutting cardstock. Do you see how this one is blue? This one is set to write. It will sketch, actually. I know it's scanning for my device. Hold on. Because I'm live on my page, Donna. I'm not live in the club right now. If I'm live in the club, only you can see it. Okay, that's why. All right, so I have this set to cardstock, and it is set to cut. See that? Now it's on cut. Oh, I have them grouped together. Sorry, hang on, I have to ungroup them. I mostly use my Cameo for stencils. I rarely use it for anything else. And so when I do that, yes, I'm having trouble connecting. Hold on, because I don't have my machine on. So when I do that, see when I turned it on how that tool 2 popped up. So when I use it for something else, I usually have to figure it out first before I show people, because I have really spent my time learning to design and cut stencils, and that's what I'm best at. These things are just little extra things that I do. Okay, so I want to show you this. I'm going to click on the word wedding. You see how the box is around that now? I am going to sketch that. So I'll click sketch here. And when I click sketch right here, did you see how that turned blue? That's because the word wedding is going to sketch. Now, do you see the red box around the divider? All right, it is going to cut. I have cut selected here. I've selected my auto blade because that's what I use to cut with most of the time, unless it's a premium blade, which I do use the premium blade as well. And then the word wedding is blue because it's in tool carriage 2, and it is going to sketch. And when you choose sketch, the settings automatically are placed in here. You don't have to do anything here. Now, because I chose cardstock, these settings are automatically placed in here too. And I don't make any changes here unless I have a really dull blade, and then I'll turn my force up. But my blade is pretty sharp. So I'll go back to design now. I can group these together or not, it doesn't matter, but I want them to stay together when I move them around here in my workspace. So that is how you make a divider. So I would do the same thing for this one. I would push T on my keyboard for the text tool, click here, and type in, I don't know, spring. And I'm going to go back over here and choose Matilda again. There are lots of sketch fonts out there, you guys. Lots. This is just one that I chose because it popped up earlier. So here's the word spring. All right. Let me move this off the mat. And I am going to click over here on send. And already, because I chose tool 2 and sketch, that automatically came up to sketch, and the divider is going to cut. Now if I group these together by pushing Command G, I can move them around together. All right, any questions about that? Okie doke. So that is the Silhouette Studio version of designing a divider for your storage container. Now let's go to Cricut Design Space. Whoops, that's Facebook. And now you can see the Cricut Design Space version of this. So I have this heading up here. I'm going to delete that. Actually, I'll just hide it. I play peekaboo with things all the time. These are stencil tabs in Cricut Design Space. Now, if you're a member of Cricut Access, all you have to do is come right over here and click Images, and then search Divider. And look at all these dividers you have to choose from. Tons. All kinds. So I chose this one. It was really simple. And then you can see here is the left side version. So, and I don't know if you can tell, but this one is a little shorter than this one. Some of these are taller if you take a look. So you have to pick the one with the center and the one on the right or left that's the same height. See how that one's taller and this one's shorter? And you can always change the size of them once you get them in there. So let's just choose this one right here. I'll click Insert Images, and it brings it in for me, and it is small. And I wanted it to be, let me move these over. I wanted it to be, I'm going to unlock it because I don't want it to stay in proportion. I don't think. Let's lock it and see what it does. I'm going to make the width, was it 7.75? Oh, yep, it does stay in proportion with my measurements because it's about 6 inches, so that's perfect. All right, so this one has the tab on the right. Let's go back to Images again. Uh-oh. Why is it telling me that? Okay. Try it again. I don't know why. Sometimes it gives me that messages. Images, there it is. And I chose the one on the right. You can choose the one on the left here. I should have done that to start with. That one's a little shorter, but that's okay. We'll change the size. And where's the one in the center? I've got all your little, my little screens are up here from the live, and I have to, that's why my cursor goes crazy sometimes because I'm moving the little boxes around. Okay, there's a center one. I wonder, maybe it's something with Design Space, Donna. I don't know. All right, so let's do this one at 7.75. Just change the measurements right here. And yep, that one didn't go as tall. So that one is 5961. So let's unlock this. And we'll do 5.961. Same height. Not quite, but that's okay. It's unlocked. I'll just drag this down a little. There we go. And lock it. That may be a different tab actually than this one. So this is the one on the left. We really don't need this. Let me show you why. I'll close that. I'm going to grab this one. I can duplicate it. And then all I need to do is come right up here and flip it horizontally. You see? Now I need the one that has the center tab. Maybe I already have it in here. There it is. This one is the center tab that matches. Yeah. And it's over there too in the images. You just need to select it. All right, so I'm gonna hide all of these so I don't have too much on my screen for you guys. I can just come right over here and I'm just gonna start selecting these. I gotta move the screen out of my way again. And I'll hide these. Now the font I used was called Cricut. You can see the name of it right here in the layers panel. So for that, all I need to do is come over here and click on T for text. And I am going to type, we'll type spring. And I can't remember if I had to type it all in uppercase or not, but we'll find out. So I'll choose the fonts button here. And I'm going to type in the word Cricut because I already know what the font is. Here it is. Notice right here it has a green A. That means it's included in my Access subscription. If you choose one that says $4.99, you'll have to pay for it before it will allow you to cut or print. All right, so there is the word spring. And I want you guys, this is important to notice this. See where it says line type cut? We have to click draw and you'll see it become thin. And also right here on style, I need to choose writing. Now it becomes a writing font, one that will write out with my marker. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to click and drag over just these two. You see I didn't grab this orange one. Even though it was close, I just clicked right over the edge of these two and it selects them, and I can tell that right here because they're both gray. So I am going to now group these together right here. I'll click on group. And when I click make it, watch what happens. It puts spring on this mat. I did this on purpose. If I click on this blue mat, look, it's showing me these other, and it's showing the Halloween one together. Well, let me show you why that is. This gets people hung up sometimes. I'm going to click cancel. Did you notice that I grouped it together? Because I grouped it together, grouping it will keep it together in my workspace, but when I click make it, grouping it doesn't keep it together on the cut screen. So if I want to keep these two things together, when I click make it, I have to attach them. Now watch what happens when I click make it. There's the Halloween one, and you know I can scoot this all around if I want to, exactly where I want to cut it. Now here's the other one. Here's the spring. Now it's together on the mat. All right, I'll click cancel there. And let me ask you if you have any questions. I'm going to go back to my camera. Hold on here. Where is it? I have to click on all these buttons. Oh my goodness, there's so many buttons. Does anybody have any questions for me about that? And I didn't want to take too long because I was going to show you Silhouette Studio and Cricut Design Space, but I wanted you to just get an idea of how that works and to show you that you can make your own dividers, that you can just measure these containers. These all came from Joanne, and you can organize your stencils in here without really, well, with little effort. Okay, I want to show you this one though. See that one? That one is too big because it's not made for this one. This one is the shorter one, and it fits in here perfectly. So now I can store all my summer stencils behind this tab divider. Okay, so I will put links to these containers. They're not expensive if you use a coupon either. You'll want to use your 40% off at Joanne. And then sometimes, you know, they have more than that off. So be paying attention for when those sales come up. But here's what the dividers look like once they're cut. And basically, I mean, all I do is put this cardstock on the cutting mat and click make it for my Cricut or click send for the Cameo. And I will tell you a trick. Let me find one of my mats. So when you can see I cut one right here out of the cardstock, and I want to show you a trick. When you're removing this from the mat, don't lay your mat flat and pull off the cardstock. You don't want to do that. You want to flip your mat over and you want to remove your mat from the cardstock, not the cardstock from the mat. Because when you do that, I don't know if you can tell, see how this one is curled? It was curled worse when I first took it off. I had it under a book. If you remove your cardstock from the mat and your mat is sticky, watch. See how it makes it curl? But, and I just ruined it so I can't show you the other way. If you lay your mat flat and you remove your mat from the cardstock, holding the cardstock down, it will allow you to remove your tab divider and it will be perfectly flat. Okay? All right, so let's see here. It is very, very easy with the Cricut. You've already got those designs in there. It's easy with Silhouette Studio too. You just have to put in some rectangles and weld them together. So, oh, she was. I don't know. I have seen some of Auntie Tay's videos. Not for a long time though. When I a few years ago I watched her. Does cutting the blade ruin the paper for the plastic or use? You know, Maxine, some people use a dedicated blade and some people don't. Your plastic will dull the blade. So if you want a good clean cut, you need to use a dedicated blade for paper. Plus, you don't probably want to use your blade for your stencil material that you're going to use on paper. So I would dedicate a blade for each. Yes, Kim, I prefer using the containers over the binder system. The binders, my stencils fall out of those sometimes, and it's hard to find those sleeves anymore. I think the Cookie Countess sells those sleeves still, but you can't buy them from Memory Makers. I think it was Memory Makers. You can't buy them anymore that I know of. I looked everywhere for them when I was using that system, and I don't use that system anymore because I couldn't find any more of those dividers. Plus, your notebooks get thick really quick when you have a lot of stencils. This way, they're all right in there. I just can flip, you know, in through this one that I do have organized. I can just flip right through here and I can find whatever I need very quickly. Plus, with those printables that, you know, if you print from the online shop or from anything that I give you in the club, the printables are really, really helpful. Thank you, Amy. Okay. All right. If you don't have any more questions, I just wanted to share that with you today and kind of walk you through that so that you could see my process when I make these dividers. And like I said, my focus is stencil designing. That's what I do, and I do that best. This other stuff I just do on the side sometimes. I'm not an expert at the print and cut or print then cut for Cricut. I just piddle around with things, but the stencil designing and stencil cutting, you know, that's where my expertise is. Yes. All right. Yes, vinyl. That's a good point, Dieter. Also, you guys, if you are cutting silkscreen stencils and you're using the vinyl, that same tip applies. When you're removing the cardstock, when you're removing your vinyl from your mat, you don't want to remove you don't want to remove the vinyl from the mat. You want to remove the mat from the vinyl. If your silk screens are curling, that would be why. So that is a good tip. Yes. Okie doke. Normally I've had questions, or why are you live? Why are my friends seeing this? Well, I'm live on the Colorful Cookie page right now. Normally I am always live in my Facebook group. I'm live every Thursday. I do a live interactive tutorial where I can talk to people. And so it may be confusing to them right now. I do go live on this page occasionally, but not usually showing my screen. But I wanted to share that stencil storage tip with you guys. But if you want to learn how to design stencils, I highly recommend the Colorful Cookie Club because we have an amazing group, Facebook group of helpful people. We're in there all the time when people are designing and they have questions. There's 350 video tutorials available at all times, and it's just a really supportive group, and I love it. So if you want to learn how to do more of this kind of thing, join us in the club. And I'll post a link in the comments, also to the storage containers too. So that's all I have for you today. If you don't have any more questions, thank you for joining me. And like and share this video with other people or other cookiers that you know who might be interested or have cutting machines, because they might want to learn how to store their stencils too. So have a great weekend. It's hot and muggy here in Kansas, but I'm never complaining because I love summer. It's one of my very favorite times of year. So have a good day. Bye-bye.